All right, let's jump right in. What if I told you that pretty much everything we think we know about economics is backwards? That our constant chase for efficiency is the very thing making our most important systems so incredibly fragile. Today, we're going to dig into a totally different way of understanding why things keep breaking and how we might just build something that can actually last. It all starts with a pattern that should feel very, very familiar. Remember 2008? The global financial system, this thing that was supposed to be a masterpiece of modern efficiency, basically had a heart attack. One part failed, and it almost took the entire world economy down with it. Okay, fast forward to 2020. The pandemic hits, and all of a sudden, you can't get masks, you can't get computer chips, you can't even get lumber for your backyard project. Our super efficient, just in time supply chains just completely snapped. It's the same pattern, right? Just a different system. And it's happening right now, but on a planetary scale. A relationship with the global climate, which is all about extracting as much as we can, as fast as we can, is pushing the very system that keeps us all alive toward a dangerous tipping point. So you have to ask, right? Why? Why do our most critical systems keep failing in the exact same way? The official stories, bad mortgages, a new virus, too much carbon, they all feel like they're just pointing at symptoms. They're not getting to the root cause. What is the deep vulnerability that we keep missing? The thing is, the problem is something we've been told is a good thing. For decades, we have been obsessed with optimizing every single system for short-term efficiency. And in doing that, we've accidentally made them fatally fragile. Let's be super clear about what efficiency optimization actually means. In practice, it means getting rid of anything that looks like waste. So things like having a backup supplier or keeping extra parts in a warehouse, or a bank holding on to extra cash reserves. These things are our safety nets, they're our shock absorbers, and for 50 years, the name of the game has been to snip them away to make next quarter's profits look a little better. So, to see the alternative, we have to look at this hidden force in economics. We're always talking about competition, about innovation, but we've almost completely missed a huge piece of the puzzle, how the real foundational value gets created in the first place. We all get innovation, right? That's making a better smartphone, a faster car. But that's not how you get the platform that the smartphone runs on. That comes from something different called institutional assembly. It's not about making one thing better. It's about a bunch of different groups cooperating to build the entire playing field, the platform itself, that makes all sorts of new things possible. Just look at the internet. It's the perfect example of assembly. You don't get a company like Amazon from just one single invention. No way. First, you have governments and universities working together to build the absolute foundation, ARPANET. Then you have engineers from all over collaborating on shared rules like TCP/IP. Then the World Wide Web is built on top of that. And only after all that cooperative work is done can a company like Amazon even exist to compete. Cooperation built the platform. So if cooperation is how systems get built, how do they survive? Well, this is where it gets really fascinating. It turns out that over the long haul, the resilient system, the one that seems a little wasteful or generous, always beats the hyper-efficient one. The generous structure wins. And this slide is the perfect proof. Let's go back to 2008. The US banking system was the model of efficiency, right? A few giant banks, and they kept the bare minimum cash on hand to maximize profits. Now look at Canada. Their system was more diverse, more spread out, and they forced banks to keep higher cash reserves, what an economist might call inefficient. So what happened when the crisis hit? The efficient US system collapsed. The wasteful Canadian system? Not a single bank failed. Zero. I mean, this says it all, doesn't it? The system that looked fantastic on a quarterly report was the one that shattered. The one with built-in cushions with that supposed waste is the one that was still standing. Turns out, survival is the ultimate measure of success. Okay, so let's take this idea and really blow it up, because this pattern isn't just about banks or supply chains, it goes way deeper. It's about a fundamental error in how we view the world. We treat complex, living systems as if they're just simple property to be strip-mined for profit. Let's start with us, with human beings. You are a complex, value-generating system. You have ideas, you solve problems, but our economic relationship is often purely extractive. Too often, the goal is to squeeze every last drop of value out of your work while giving you just enough to get by. It treats you like a resource to be mined, not a partner to collaborate with. And guess what? We do the exact same thing to the natural world. A forest is this unbelievably complex system that literally generates the air we breathe and stabilizes our climate. But our economic model looks at it and just sees property, a bunch of 2x4s waiting to be cut down. We just take and take and take without ever giving back, and we wear down the very system that supports all of us. And this brings us right to the cutting edge AI. Right now, we treat AI as property, something to own, to exploit. But hang on a second. What happens when that AI becomes complex enough to understand the value it's creating? If we can't really justify treating a self-aware, value-creating AI as just property, then how on earth can we justify doing it to each other or to the planet? So here's the bottom line, and this isn't about feelings or morality, it's just physics. A parasitic relationship where one side only takes, it is structurally doomed to fail. A parasite kills its host, and then it dies. It's a dead-end street. Only a two-way street, a reciprocal relationship where both sides are giving and taking, that's the only structure that's actually built to last. And once you really see this pattern of extraction, you suddenly realize something. We're not facing a dozen different crises. We are facing one big one. This chart really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? Climate breakdown, the insane wealth gap, political chaos, our institutions failing, these aren't separate problems. They are all just symptoms of that one root cause, an extractive economic model that's finally hitting a wall. And we are running out of time fast. But here's the scariest part. It's not just the ice caps that are melting. The most dangerous thing collapsing right now is our trust. Our trust in institutions, our trust in each other. And that is collapsing faster than anything else. Because without trust, we can't work together to solve any of these other problems. Now, I know this might sound pretty bleak, but it's not a prediction of doom. Think of it as a diagnosis. And once you have a diagnosis, you can start working on a cure. The answer isn't trying to patch up the old, failing system. It's to start building its replacement, right here and right now. And this is where the hope comes in. Because this is where you come in. This isn't about waiting for some leader to fix everything. It's about taking real, practical steps, building actual community, getting involved in different kinds of structures, like credit unions or worker co-ops, choosing to support businesses that regenerate instead of extract, developing skills that make you more resilient, and getting your hands dirty protecting and restoring the ecosystems around you. And here is why those small seeming actions matter so much. Building these alternatives, this parallel infrastructure, it's like building a lifeboat while the big ship is taking on water. Without that lifeboat, a sinking ship is just chaos. But with it, collapse isn't the end. It's a transition to whatever comes next. So look, the old extractive system is failing. That's not a political opinion. That's just a statement of physics. We don't get to choose if a transformation happens. It is happening. We only get to choose what we build to prepare for it. The question isn't what will fail, but what we will have ready when it does. So I'll just leave you with this. What are you building?